Hi, my name is Dr. Amy Giddings. The Real Women of Coaching team and I recently had the opportunity to visit the storied Newell Boathouse in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We spoke with Linda Muri, assistant coach of lightweight men's rowing. Linda is an athlete with extensive experience, including multiple times on the U.S. national team. However, her sport history and background isn't what you might think of someone with her level of experience and expertise. You gotta see this. Okay, let's make sure we're sitting up, Jake. Sitting up, getting ready for the first shift. Getting ready for the first shift here.
My name is Linda Muri. This is my 11th year coaching the freshman lightweights at Harvard. I'm the assistant coach of lightweight men's rowing. I started my athletic career bowling. I was in the 3rd grade and my parents signed my sister and me up for Saturday morning bowling league. There weren't any athletic opportunities till I got to junior high. There weren't sports for girls. I was allowed to try out for the boys basketball team. And 3 of us did that and none of us made the team. But in the summer we did get to, there was softball, there was organized softball, and my dad was our coach. I think it was a pretty positive experience for me, and that probably contributed to me wanting to get involved in coaching somewhere down the line, like family when I have kids, that kind of thing, not career, certainly not career thinking. When I got to high school, there were, fortunately, by that point in the late 70s, some opportunities for girls. I started out on the cross-country team, but that was only a boys' team, and we were allowed to run. And I hated cross-country. I hated it. I would cry the night before. I'd tell my mother I didn't want to go. She made me go. You have to finish the season, which was the right thing to do, but I really, really hated it. So I think it's fairly ironic that I got involved in endurance training sport after really despising cross-country so much. I started playing field hockey and got over having to wear the kilt, but then I went on to become a goalie where I didn't actually have to wear the kilt for the game, so that was pretty good. Anyway, in college I played field hockey, I played basketball, and we didn't have a track team. But I was part of the first club team that we got started, because at that point, again, there weren't a lot of sporting opportunities. It was really just, even though Title IX had been signed in, it wasn't really being enforced until the early 80s, and that's when I was in college. And my roommate in college, her boyfriend rowed, and he thought, well, we've got this intramural one-day class day thing, and we need to have 6 rowers on the team and 2 non-rowers, and Linda, you're athletic, so we'll get you to do it, and there's another guy in the house, we'll get him to do it. And so we practiced for 2 days, and we did this maybe 500-meter race. I can't even remember how long it was. And I thought, this is great. They had some tryouts, and you had to get up early in the morning and go out in a barge. 16 people in the boat. The coaches, I assume it was a coach, I don't know. I just remember there was this woman walking up and down this boat yelling at me, and I was like, no, this isn't going to do it. So the next year rolls around and there's the same intramural race, and I get recruited to do it again, and I thought, well, I'll give it a chance again. They weren't having tryouts for a couple of weeks, and it was going to be in the afternoon, so I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And I did, and somehow the second time around it seemed really great. And that's rowing. That's what I've been doing ever since, and haven't really looked back.
Right at 24, good push, pressure on the handle.
I like the camaraderie, I like the hard work, the challenge, and there were some other rowers at the boathouse trying out for the national team. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And so I gave that a try. I got invited to a camp my senior year. I was still pretty excited about rowing, even though we weren't doing well. And a friend a couple years before had done some coaching at one of the local high schools. Now, we had morning practice. I didn't have a lot of classes, no more labs my senior year, and there was a coaching position open at the Middlesex School, which is in Concord, and I really enjoyed it. Again, I wasn't thinking about career coaching, but you know, this was fun. I felt like I did a good job at it, and and it was good to work with those girls. I was just starting to compete again, doing some training as I finished up there my 4th year with the high school girls, and I thought, okay, if I'm going to ever do some training at the elite level again, this is the time. I quit my job, stopped coaching, got a job fixing boats at Riverside Boat Club in Cambridge, just to support my rowing habit, and I started rowing a lot in the mornings and in the afternoons, doing the 2-a-days and all of that. At that point, Boston Rowing Center was one of the training centers for the U.S. team, and I tried out for it and got cut. And the next year I tried out for it and got cut. And I came out again and kept on rowing, and someone said, well, maybe you should be a lightweight. And I thought, oh, you know, I'd done that in college at the development camp, but it hadn't really occurred to me. And so I thought, well, okay, try that route. And that seemed to be a lot more successful. And when I was 28, I made my first national team. I was on the B team. The second team went to the Pan American Games. From there, I kept developing as an athlete and wound up racing in 1994 at the World Championships, which were held in Indianapolis. We won, we set a world record. It still stands to this day, so it's just my favorite rowing venue in the world. In 1995, I was also in the straight four, the lightweight straight four, and we won that race. I tried to make the Olympic team as a heavyweight in '96 and did not manage that, but came back again in '97, '98, '99 in the lightweight pair, and have a bronze, a silver, and a gold medal from that racing, which was a lot of fun. The pair was just a great boat to race in. 2000, I tried again. Now there were lightweights in the Olympics, the lightweight double. I didn't make the team and wound up being the spare for the lightweight quad, and just like, okay, called it a career. So I retired from the competitive rowing in 2000.
That short means we don't take enough time on the recovery. It's too quick, there's not a good ratio, and we wind up rowing it in, and we go slower for the amount of effort we're putting in. So if you want to paddle up by 6s, Jake, go ahead, stay well to the right.
I hadn't coached since I coached the high school team, but in 1996, when I was making a push for the Olympic team, I realized I needed to have something to do after I was done and no longer just fixing boats and rowing. And I felt that I wanted to do some teaching. I really enjoyed that. I thought about the coaching that I'd done, and just having spent some time in the classroom with some friends who were teachers. My mom was a first grade teacher. So I went back to school to teach math and science. So in 1997, I graduated from Harvard with a master's in education. My soon-to-be husband and I moved to Ithaca, New York, because he was going to the business school. And right before we moved there, I got a call. They were looking for a freshman lightweight coach, and they hired me. So I started coaching. I was like, this is pretty good. They rowed in the afternoons. I trained in the mornings because I was still training them. I could train again after they were done with practice, and it was working well. And a couple of months into that season, that fall in Ithaca, I was like, wow, this is it. This is better than teaching. This is what I want to do. And it was one of those cliche, I guess, aha moments people say now, but I was like, this is it. I don't want to be in the classroom. I don't want to be sitting behind a desk doing design work. I want to be in the launch coaching rowing.
Once again, we thank you for joining us for this episode of The Real Women of Coaching, part of the Women's Coaching Network. Join us next time as Linda Muri shares with us her unique position as a female coaching a men's sport.